think that's perfect. So you guys listen, we are so sorry that we've been MIA. We've been doing some innovations, upgrading, taking in some advice to figure out how we can better serve you all. You know what I'm saying?
I've been getting my baby out of high school. That's what
T-Dot's been busy. Mack O's been doing. What have you been doing?
My daughter also, she's getting ready for college.
Yeah.
Working on building a couple businesses.
So we back. We back for y'all. So What You Think podcast. Today we're going to touch on, it's kind of what we talk about the So What You Think situation. Not so much just the movie, but in real life, how it affects.
When they see us. Yeah. Well, welcome to So What You Think podcast. We had this conversation. There's been
too long.
3 trendy topics. One has been reparations. Should we get it? We talked about when they see us. I don't know if you guys seen the movie. I saw it. I think that personally it impacted me in such a way that I was in my feelings. I had to mix it a little bit of light of positivity with a little bit of dark. But I think that it was one of those movies where you got to practice a little power of pragmatism to show that there are real life issues that's going on that does impact us as far as minorities. So we're going to start off just discussing that and talking about rights as well. Mack O, what you think?
I haven't seen the movie. I really don't have a desire to see it because I already know shit's bad out there. I know they're doing it dirty. What my observation is, I just see how people respond to it on social media.
Watch like I can't watch all of it. And which I understand is heartbreaking, it's troubling and all that. And my whole thing is, did y'all mama not make y'all watch Roots?
Man.
Because my mama set me down and made me watch
that.
It
was hard as a mother to sit there and watch those babies get interrogated. And I mean, and they're crying, and it was just a bit much. So I admit, I watched the first half of the first series, the first episode, and I had to stop because I'm like,
you didn't watch all of it?
No, I started it that day. Mm-hmm. I waited like a week, and then I went back, and I just kind of pieced at it because it was heavy for a mama. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, I don't want to watch my babies. If that was Quincy or KD or Kyrie, right. I'm thinking I'm going to flip the out because they didn't know their rights. Now, me knowing my rights, and I believe that my children should know their rights, and talking to them like, you do have the right to shut up. You ain't got to say nothing. Ask for a lawyer. Shut it all down out the gate. But them babies didn't have that knowledge. I mean, at 14, right. And you don't think that you should have to tell your kids that at that age, but in this day and age, it's a necessary conversation like sex. Right. Like, it's very necessary.
So what I feel like is what we should take away from the movie without me watching it is that we need to all learn our rights. Right. People need to know what their rights are and not only know your rights, but be brave enough to use them.
Right.
To actually...
To hold them like they hold us to a certain standard. We got to obey the law and so on. But then like when the police does something out of line, we don't hold them to that standard. Right. Like this is the law. My niece Gayla posted a video of a guy. It was a black guy. He was in his yard and the police came to harass him. And he was quoting off everything like, I'm not detained. You don't need to have my name. I'm not giving you fake information if you're not arresting me. I don't have to give you anything unless you place. He knew his rights. And at the end of the day, the police couldn't do anything but walk off.
Right. He's
like, you're on my property and I haven't invited you to be on my property. It was like he knew his rights and that was his power that they had to leave. He wasn't showing him his ID. He didn't have to. He knew what he was talking about, basically.
Right. So I think this is twofold. Because I think that in the case of, it wasn't Corey's mom, but one of their mothers actually did know their rights. She did know their rights. And she was invoking her rights as far as the procedures. But I think the problem there is it was unconstitutional. They were breaking the law. So I think
that's the thing we have to look at.
And I think that we need to be more involved because when I think of it as a whole, like they had some civil rights leaders that was involved that was speaking on behalf of these teenagers saying, hey, this is evidence that shows that these guys are innocent. Everyone knew it was innocent, but these guys still got locked up. So in a lot of ways, they really were using their rights. We just didn't have enough people involved to be able to overturn something that was very crooked and very illegal.
What messed them up is that they didn't know their rights out the gate. And they didn't know their rights to be quiet out the gate. So where they're being told, like, if you tell us this, you can go home.
Yeah,
so they have them on video saying, they have Corey Wise saying, this is my first time I ever did a rape.
Right.
I won't do it again. And it was so natural to ask him saying that, like, this is getting me go home. Right. I'll say I did it, and I won't do it no more. Now, it's not stealing. It's not, I broke out a window. You saying that you raped somebody, but you won't do it again.
Right.
But he didn't have the knowledge to know that you can't say that.
Right.
And think they're going to let you go.
Right.
So they use that ignorance against them.
Right. The payback. Do you think the payback was justifiable? I think he should have got his own lump sum of money for the thing.
He got Corey got the lump sum of the money.
I think he should have got that amount by
Man,
himself.
there's no amount of money that's worth someone's life, time, torment, things that go on while you in the pen. There is no amount of money that you could give somebody for. And I really feel like that devalues human life.
Right.
That people feel like, oh, we messed up. We could just throw a dollar sign on it and the problem.
If you watch the Oprah interview, you can look at Corey Wise and you can see that mentally he's not 100% with us. I mean, there's something this is not clicking.
Right.
And then Antron was speaking, and the Antron that was speaking, he was he's saying he needs help. Mentally he's not good.
Right.
And that story that money can't buy peace of mind, it can't buy you happiness. Because this man, all through all of this, in his mind, his daddy sold him down the road.
Right.
His daddy told him, so he could save his job, tell them what they want to hear, and send his baby away.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, so that's what I was telling you.
I didn't watch the movie.
Yes.
So clue me in. What happened? Somebody's daddy did what?
Okay, so they're in the interrogation room, and he was a good dad initially. Right. He seemed like he was a good dad, but they used his job. They used his prior convictions against him and say, does your job know about this? Well, your son better do wop, wop, wop. So he go in there and he tell his son, you better tell them what they want to hear.
Right.
And
so he doesn't lose his job.
So he doesn't lose his job. Right. And he said, and Antron said, my dad sat there and watched them, smack me around and jerk me up and, all that stuff. His dad allowed it.
Right.
And so his dad pretty much set the...
So they coerced him. They coerced him into saying he was guilty for
I
something
see why
he didn't
people
do.
feel that way.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know about that part. Now my heart's broken.
But at the same time, you got to think that fear. So they use fear as a way to maintain a sense of control and create a perception that wasn't even true. Right. You know what I'm saying? Which is common in today. This happens all the time. People use fear for everything. So I think that's a problem. I think that being in our society, having to have the type of trust where you're supposed to depend on the justice system to have your back that's not necessarily aligned with what it's supposed to be doing is a problem. You shouldn't have to fear the police.
If you don't know your rights in that judicial system, you don't know what you have available to you.
On a deeper level, this is what I feel the big problem is. It's racism is a factor because minorities are the most vulnerable. But the biggest problem with the police is no group of men and women can have unlimited power, and you think they're not going to abuse it. And the reason why I say that is it doesn't matter how good of a person you are. Me and you right now, if they give us three permission and we have to police ICE parking lot, but we have weapons and the police say, the government says, y'all three, we'll give you the right to do whatever you need to do to solve a problem. There's a chance I might bust you in your face. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's just because we need checks and balances. Right. Everybody has a time in their life where they sitting at work be like, man, I just want to slap somebody. Right. Oh, better not nobody say nothing to me or I'm going to slap them. Police can really do that. Right. That's the difference. And they're trapped. The problem I feel like with the police is it's gangs. I grew up around gang members and the mentality is exactly the same. Right. They got crazy gang members, but nobody want to tell on them because that's who you want to have your back. Right. So even the good cops are stuck in. We're recording. Even the good cops are stuck with the fact that this dude. I don't want to tell on him. I feel like what he's doing is wrong. But he's also the guy who would have my back in a dark alley. Right. He's also the guy who, if I ran up in a house with 4 people, he would run up in there with me. Right. So they stuck letting the crazy person deal with whatever. And the same thing I hear about the police, you could say the same thing about gang members. People say, it's just a few bad police. It's only just a few bad gang members too. Right. All gang members ain't doing drive-bys. Right. All gang members ain't doing that. Right. It's a few giving a bad name. So if you're going to let that same mess slide with the police, and it's the same mentality that lets it slide. It's like, well, I really want to go to party and just chill, but my homeboy crazy.
He want to trip.
Right. But I got to have his back because if I ever get anything, this the nut I'm calling. Right. And that's the same same thing that
And
the
I don't
police are
even
stuck
think,
in. So we need accountability.
Right.
Recording them doesn't
Checks and
change anything.
It doesn't change anything because if you record me, I'm your homeboy. And I'm saying, I don't want nobody to judge me if I got to go up somebody's head.
Right.
So I ain't going to go upside. I'm not going to judge you when you go upside somebody's head.
Yeah.
And that's how the problem starts.
Yeah.
So the fix I read somewhere is a good idea is make all lawsuits and everything come out of police pensions. Because then when you do that, they got something to lose.
Man.
You got them old vets like, man, y'all out here busting heads and you messing with my retirement. That would change things. But right now, they have no reason to have accountability. Right. And if somebody gave me a piece of paper that said I can handle every situation however I feel like, I'll be smacking people upside the head.
I don't think I'll be smacking people, but I can tell you what I would be doing. I definitely be paying the flashing lights just so I can get through rush hour traffic. Probably get some food.
I don't think it would be in my heart to do anybody dirty.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
maybe not dirty, but you could just be upset,
right?
And somebody make you want to smack.
Like, I move. I have to cut this line. I would take advantage of that privilege.
But let's just say you pull somebody over, right? And they got an attitude, but you was trying to be cool. Now you instantly like, man, I was just gonna be nice to you. But you don't have to stop yourself from cussing them out. You don't have to stop yourself from slapping them or macing them or hitting them with a stick. I'm just saying the worst is going to come out of all people if we don't have checks and balances in life.
And it's natural human nature to try to do what you feel like you need to do for yourself. I think that's a problem. It takes when you serving a person, you have leadership. You actually have to have the type of mentality where you want to have a person's well-being over your own. But it's not going to be common whenever you know that you can be facing danger. You're going to do what's best for you.
Well, if you are set to serve and protect.
Right, and they won't live up to it.
I mean, that's
your motto. That's on your car. That's on everything. And you get out there and you can't serve or protect because you're jittery. You're nervous. Right. I mean,
they hire too many cowards. There's not enough standards.
Too many kids got picked on in school that got a point to prove.
Yeah. Too many racists.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Dudes that can't even tell their wife what to do, but they want to drive, but get to drive around 12 hours and tell everybody else what to do. Probably kids, wife, nobody else listen to them. They put on the suit and then get to be the dude they always wanted to be. Like my phone, when Preach saw himself, he got to see himself light skinned. It's people. It's people putting on suits, seeing themselves as a whole different person, man.
Hey, bro,
hey, what's up, man?
You know, I mean, you get to the point where you listen to them because if you ever been pulled over and you got a speech from a police officer, you think I always think like you didn't get to do what you really wanted to do. Right. You wanted to be a motivational speaker or something because you're giving me this whole speech. Write my ticket and let me go the fuck out because I'm just a speed again. I pulse.
Yeah.
So just go. But they'll give you this whole speech and then this one time I got pulled over, he was giving me, I'm late to take my babies to football.
Look, I'm speeding because I'm late.
I'm in a hurry, and now you making me about to speed more because you're going to slow me down. And he gave me this whole speech, and I'm like, you know what? I'm still going to speed.
I translate. He was trying to get them draws.
I don't know. I was trying to take my. I had to drop one baby off at Edwards Park, and I had to drop another one off over here at Pitts Park, and I'm like, I gotta go. And I'm a speed.
Was you showing cleavage?
No, I was a football mom. I had on football.
Have you ever showed your cleavage?
Football mamas be the boy. Football mamas. Let me tell you, single men. If you want to find out where all the ladies are, show up at a kids' sporting event. That's where all the single moms
I'll be trying to look better than each other.
They be all dressed up with high heels and makeups.
Back in my day, my kids are grown and playing college football. But back in when I was...
What time is it? It's 11:54 right now. I guarantee you it's some gym filled with a bunch of little kids and a bunch of single women overdressed and smelling way too good to be watching basketball. That's what's happening.
They went and got outfits this morning from Ross.
They trying to get that covered. Baby, don't worry. Mama going to make sure you start this shit.
So what the
point of the matter is, if you looking for somebody that has their things together, that's devoted.
No,
we're talking about the police.
No, we're not talking about
I thought y'all was talking about the sports games and the single moms.
We're not talking about single moms and scoring.
Okay, wrap it up,
because the president, that's where it's popping off. But anyway,
we don't end this podcast. I don't know how this went all the way off the rails.
That's good.
But
End it on a light note, you guys. Make sure you comment below. Tell me what you guys think. Did you watch When They See Us? Do you think that we should be more involved in understanding our rights? Justice system. Have you been pulled over? What is the emotion that you experienced by being pulled over? I know I was pulled over and I had a little bit of indifference that I don't think this should necessarily be there. All right. My name is Preach.
I'm T-Dot.
I'm Mack O. Hit like, hit subscribe, share with your friends.
Tell your friends about it. Support. We out.
Yeah.
You saw me You better start, baby. What that coach say? Oh, we gonna fix it.
Mama gonna fix your
I know that married. She married. She ain't willing to do what I'm gonna do. You gonna be the quarterback.
Right.